Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Degenerate Racing League. We are officially starting soon. The drivers have already got to get into their super wet qualifying. Of course, we are starting right on time, folks. But before we get any further, let's check out the calendar. On the calendar right now, we have been to Barcelona, Donington Park, Coda, Indianapolis, Brands Hatch, In the Rain, Hungaroring. We skipped a race for the 8th of October. We did the 24 Hours of Nürburgring Spa. Then Kyalami, here we are on the 29th. And then we're going to be at Suzuka, Watkins Glen, and the Red Bull Ring to finish out this 12-round championship. And boy, it's been a heated one so far. Let's talk about the standings. Right now in the pro category, we have Neil Kerbel leading with 170 points, Oliver Sogren with 164 with 3 back-to-back wins. And then in third place, we have Mike Bowen with 3 wins to his name, a couple of drop rounds and a DNF. So Mike Bowen's got some work to do to catch back up with 163 points to his name. Cooper Atherton, Daniel Hirsch, Burt Macklin, Spencer Braun, Mitch Nyardi, Josh Rodriguez, and Eric Kakasian into the top 10. In the Pro-Am category, Shooter McGavin leads by a mile with 5 wins to his name and 2 drop rounds already, 210 points right now. Evans Vogue with 169, Kevin Palaniuk with 146, Sean Ches, Don Fossman, Russell Stanford, Grant Zahara, Jason Hayes, Alan Young, and Sinner Tarugo are in the top 10. In the amateur category right now, Nelson Hernandez leads the charge with 4 wins to his name, a drop round of 3 and 5 with 199. Brad Smith in second place with 181. Wes Romery in third with 172. 147 for Jay Pisa. And Buggy Watt, John Malott Tyler Morgan, James May, Ricky Bobbitt, and Don Donovan rounding out the top 10 in the amateurs. It's been fun, it's been hectic, but let's go see what the drivers are all up to right now, because boy, it's about to get a little bit more hectic because the racetrack is basically flooded right now. We're at Kyalami, meaning our home in Swahili, and it is one of my favorite tracks for sure, but it is not my home track, obviously, and I imagine it's very few people's home tracks. What's going on, Dub? Thank you very much for being here. Love you, brother. Thank you very much for participating in the chat and being here for the broadcast. We're doing a Degenerate Racing League stream tonight. Mike Bowen leads Neil Kerbel, Kyle Hirsch, Cooper Atherton, Mitch Nyardi, Daniel Hirsch, Shooter McGavin, Spencer Braun, Norris Yu, Joshua Rodriguez, and Philip Suazo in 11th place. We've got a split qualifying, so we're only going to see half the drivers do their laps or do their best laps right now. And then we're going to have the other half of the grid, so half of the pro-ams go out with the pros. And then we have the other half of the pro-ams come out with the amateurs. Burt Macklin back next week, baby. Man, you've got a lot of catching up to do in this championship. Hopefully, you haven't used any of your drop rounds so far. This track has been awfully moist for the drivers to have to deal with. It's not as flooded as it was for the free practice session, but it's still staying pretty wet out right now. We've got rain plus heavy rain plus coming in over the next 30 minutes or so, and that'll be when the session evolves into the race session. And we'll have to see what the drivers are going to contend with for their pit stop strategy. That's going to be very, very interesting. Mandatory pit stop will be taking place for the drivers, 25 seconds, fixed refueling, and Neil Kerbel having a bit of a drift into LeCoupe. And that'll be interesting for him to try to recover on those wet tires, and at least he doesn't have to worry about temperatures in those tires getting warmed up. 22 degrees Celsius, 25 degrees track. And the track is still awfully wet for the drivers to be able to cool their tires down as best as possible. I wonder if heating up the tires is really going to be a problem right now, or if the slip and slide action that Neil Kerbel is producing through his tires is going to be enough. Cooper Atherton gets to the line right now. He still stays in 6th place. A 720S in the number 720, doing a 154.5. Coming through the Giuseppe sweep and into barbecue. Seems to be doing all right now. Track is still just wet right now. 4 miles an hour, 4 kilometers per hour wind coming in across the Sunset corner. Philip Suazo getting the line. He's got 7/10 in his pocket. Can he improve? That 156.7 will be his fastest lap, but no, he does not improve his point standings right now. He's going to hold on to 12th, be the last of the pros right now, other than Jacob Stofko. And Stofko found himself front of the grid for the free practice session, so hopefully he's able to produce something better than a 2-minute .0. Oh, and here comes Oliver Sogren. What is Oliver Sogren able to produce when he gets to the line? We know he's awfully fast and rapid. Is he able to do anything? A 2:17 being his outlap right now, if that's any indication of the pace that he has beneath him. And we're going to find him up on the front row again, going for that quadruple wins in a row. On the rear wing of Sogren right now, we can see how much spray he's spitting up. Not expecting to see many on-track overtakes, mostly off-track overtakes, as people are going to be spun out and self-inflicting pain on themselves. Here comes Cooper Atherton to the line again. 154.4 for him, but that lap was invalid, unfortunately. And that'll be it for the pros qualifying session. They're going to have to all come into the pits unless they're on a valid lap still. This is going to be do or die for Sogren right now. Neil Kerbel holding on to the top of the charts. Mike Bowen, Jacob Stofko, Kyle Hirsch, Spencer Braun, Shooter McGavin, Mitch Nyardi, and Norris Yu right now still in the pits. Cooper Atherton in the pits, Daniel Hirsch in the pits, so Eric Akasian out on track, Philip Suazo, Nelson Hernandez now doing his installation lap, it looks like. Ricky Babe and Sogren is still out there, toting around, but right now I see him with a down delta of 9 seconds. There's no way this can be correct. Unless Oliver Sogren just ends up coming through the crocodiles at a snail's pace. I don't understand this delta that I'm looking at. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid, doing a last to first challenge in the moisture. Eric Akasian, yellow flag for him. That 154.322 is going to be it for him. Sogren getting to the line right now. He's looking like he's going to be able to do a 155, 156. He goes only into 13th place. This might be Oliver Sogren's kryptonite right now, as he's only able to find 13th place. Neil Kerbel could still have a chance at this championship the way things are looking for Sogren. Neil Kerbel obviously putting in the practice during the moist conditions, and Sogren just not comfortable with the way his car is performing right now. He's about 4 seconds down off the pace. Although it is 4 seconds off the pace, it's going to be a matter of consistency. How many laps can you drive without spinning out will be the most important thing. Obviously, being in the front of the pack will pay its dividends because you won't have any spray coming after you. And John Malott coming around Cheetah right now. And into the pits he goes. Interesting strategy, maybe practicing his pit stops or maybe deciding to start from the back of the grid. Just doing a full installation lap, it looks like. And into the pits John Malott goes. Jay Pisa with Samantha Tan Racing driving this Audi forward, the 135 in 28th position right now, but obviously nobody set a valid lap just yet. They're all just doing their installation lap, so coming through barbecue, this will be his first flyer of the night. Interested to see how Wes Romery gets along tonight. He usually likes mixed conditions, but this is varying conditions for sure. Wet going to light heavy rain, and then heavy rain over the next 30. Everybody's just toting around right now, trying to get to grips with the track conditions that are not really evolving, but are changing for sure. And out of the coupe, the Audi looks pretty planted right now and kicking up a lot of water in its rear wing. Nelson Hernandez finds himself a valid lap into the 2-minute range, and he's right behind Buggy Watt. A lot of drivers now finally setting valid laps. It looks like Sean Ches, Don Fossman, Kevin Palaniuk, Wes Romery all finding valid laps right now. Daniel Hirsch is in the pits right now, finding himself in 13th position, the number 48 AMG. Kyalami going around this 4.5 kilometer circuit, founded in 1961. Same layout since 2016, located in Kyalami. And Kyalami is located near Midrand between Johannesburg and Pretoria. 15 corners, 9 to the left, 6 to the right. Only 78 feet of elevation change, and most of that feels like it's coming from the coupe and down the front straightaway. The front straightaway is 1.1 kilometers long, or 3,600 feet long, and Kyalami is named after the Zulu phrase Kyalami, which means my home. It reflects the area's deep cultural roots. Kevin Palahniuk improving by 9/10 of a second. Sean Ches out there improving by 1. Wes Romery is out there improving by 8/10. Jay Paisa down about half a second. Let's still get on board with Palahniuk right now as he enters the Crocodiles. Sean Ches as well improving by 1.3, getting to the line. Is he able to hold on to it? I think so. Sean Ches improving, going all the way up to 13th. Let's check out what Wes Romery is able to do. And Kevin Palahniuk as well getting to the line. He's got a 1 second improvement to his name. That'll be a 155.385. That 155.385 will put him as good as 17th position for the number 19 of Kevin Palahniuk and Team Bluey. Tyler Morgan not able to improve on his 156.352. That'll put him down into 20th position. Jay Paisa getting a little squirrely on the entrance to Crowthorne. And you can see how much water is developing out on track. It's basically a flooded circuit right now. And Tyler Morgan for the Brundle Racing team. Don Donovan in the 333 for Don Donovan Racing in the 333. He's in 19th position, improving by around 2/10. Don Fossman out there to improve by 1.2, 1.4 seconds-ish. 156.077 being his fastest lap around. Last lap being a 56.257. So he's got some consistency to him for the Party Pickles team. And he's coming through Mineshaft. Looks like he's doing all right, but losing a little bit of time through Mineshaft as he got through there a little timidly, I guess. Looks like we're on board with Nelson Hernandez as he gets passed by, I believe that's a 444. Here comes Buggy Watt to the line. He's improving by around 7/10 and gets himself up into 24th position for the number 410. A 157.312 for Buggy. Driving that Porsche as best as possible, getting through Crowthorne, turn 2. Oh, and getting a little loose there at barbecue, and I imagine that won't be the first time we see that incident happen. I imagine a few people will get there out onto the grass, hit the throttle pedal, and then get spun out all on their own. We call that an unforced error. Looks like Evans Vorg tops the leaders of the Pro-Ams right now. Evans Vorg with a 153.8. And he's going to be over Shooter McGavin with a 153.870. So only a couple hundred separating those two drivers. Turgo is going to be in third of his class, and he's got a 154.375. So awfully tight there at the front. Basically a 1 second gap from first to third, and then from third all the way back to basically ninth is another 1 second. And we're seeing a 1 second gap from 9th all the way back to, holy smokes, all the way back to 18th. So 9 to 18, all within 1 second of each other. So tight pack racing all around. Everywhere we look, we're going to see some packs of cars out on track, but for how long, only time will tell. Qualifying session has just concluded, it seems. It's going to be everybody's final attempt at getting to the line. Evans Vorg trying to improve by just a little bit, but I don't think he's got it in his pocket right now. He's 3/10 down on his personal best, and that'll be the end of the qualifying session, folks.
Alright, we have some wet conditions. Remember that curbs are slippery and watch your braking distance.
Yeah, putting it lightly, the track is now officially flooded, everybody. 21 degrees ambient, 23 degrees track temperature. And the track is officially flooded. 6 kilometers per hour headwind for the cars, or tailwind, I should say. And you can hear the rain coming down on Evans Vorg's car as he's chilling in 3rd place right now. Completely out of shape right now, or all the drivers, I bet, cursing the server admins for making it such a flooded race. We have heavy rain over the next 10 minutes and then some medium rain coming in over the next 30. I'm going to run a quick ad now so we don't get hit with one during the middle of the race. And the drivers are getting all squared up right now. What's going on, Sapper Nappin'? It is absolutely pouring rain right now. It is unbelievable. I have told the drivers in the briefing that I have yet to see a session go flooded like this. I have personally never seen a racetrack actually be flooded before. This is my very first time ever seeing anything like this. And you're not racing this week, unfortunately? No! Well, fortunately for you that you're not here dealing with a flooded track, I'd happily take this one as a drop round. Short formation lap for all the drivers before we get going here. And they'll have very limited amount of time to get used to these flooded conditions before we hit the green light. And it's going to be absolutely mania when we get towards T1 and T2. I imagine that there's a puddle sitting at turn 1, the kink, that the drivers are going to have to contest with. Let's get started with our livery rundown, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for entertaining me. The 395, the Monster Torque car of Neil Kerbel, is in first place right now in this Nissan GTR from the United States. Mike Bowen in the Bilstein 720 is in the 119. Evans Vorg, the number 52 for the Cocaine McLaren. That's why he's going so fast in 3rd. Jacob Stofko for Odyssey Esports, the 133, the 35. The 95 skid mark of Kyle Hirsch in 5th place. Spencer Braun of Braun GP, the number 7, is in 6th place. Shooter McGavin, Shake and Bake, the number 69, nice, is in 7th. Senior Tarugo of Team Bluey is in 8th place, and he's the number 8. Mish Nyardi for the Mantini Motorsports, 32, is in 9th. Norris Yu, his teammate for the Rough Elements Racing in the 530. The 55 of Eric Gakasi and the Rising Suns Tracky by Jet in 11th. Don Donovan for Don Donovan in the 333 in 12th. Cooper Atherton, the 720, is in 13th place. Sean Ches for the Party Pickles team, the number 16, is in 14th place right now. Russell Stanford for Russ Money, the number 20, is in 15th place. Then we've got Daniel Hirsch for Hirsch Motorsports in the number 48 and 16th. Wes Romery for More Power in the 444 in 17th place. Joshua Rodriguez, the Bonsai team, the number 93, is in 18th. Don Fossman to the Party Pickles, 11, is in 19th place. Kevin Palaniuk for Team Bluey, the number 19, is in 20th. The number 135 of Jay Paisa for Samantha Tan Racing is in the number 21 spot. Tyler Morgan is in 22nd with the number 72 for Brundle. Oliver Sogren, the underdog here, is in the number 38 and 23rd. Philip Suazo for Rematch Racing is in the 231, 24th. 25th position is Buggy Watt, the number 410. John Malott, the other Bonsai car, is in 26th spot. Then we've got Ricky Bobby for the Shake and Bake team, 26th and 27th. Nelson Hernandez, starting from the back of the grid, driving it safe, the number 3, is in 28th spot. And the drivers are getting ready to roll right now, coming through Cheetah very timidly. And Evans Vogue in third place right now. We're going to keep an eye on the mid-pack as the session goes on. As we know, we're going to see some intense battling there, and the lights are on. The Christmas tree is lit, and green, 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 away we go. Mike Bowen leads Neil Kerbel in towards the kink, but Neil Kerbel is going to have the inside line. Will he be able to defend properly? I think so. Going into Crawthorne, it seems like it's all clean and dandy for the drivers right now. Pretty neat and tidy for everybody, being extremely cautious during these wet conditions. We're only seeing side-by-side battles and 3 deep right now. What's going on, Midwest FPS? Thank you for being here, brother. As always, one of the Trackalicious fans, or fans of whatever. I don't know what I'm doing right, but he is a fan of it. And we've got more action. Spencer Braun for Braun GP looking like he wants to make a move on Shooter McGavin. No, that's Kyle Hershey's trying to make a move on. Won't be able to get that one done right away. Let's go back a little bit further. See Senior Trugo going off at the sunset. Erica Kossian trying to get involved in this one. Norris Yu looking backwards right now. And looks like everybody actually made it clean through turn 1 and turn 2. This is very surprising and a pleasant surprise. Ricky Bobby, the number 26, being the worst for Royer right now. Positions gained for him. He's down only 1 position. Nelson Hernandez is gaining positions left, right, and center. He's already up 4 overall and working his way forward. Norris Yu looking at Tarugo up the inside of Le Coupe. Lucop. I believe it's Lucop. We're going to go with that. And in through Mineshaft. The drivers have to be extremely careful. Eric Kossian is not expressing any caution as he looks like he was pretty much flat out through Mineshaft and into the Crocodiles. He's staying right on the rear wing of Norris Yu and Tarugo for Team Bluey. This is a beautiful shot, watching the spray fly up at Norris Yu. Eric Kossian on the optimum line, trying to go the long way around, but won't find the daylight there to get past his opponent of Norris Yu. And they are battling for position in class as well as overall position right now. Let's take a look at Daniel Hirsch as he's only 2/10 away from Wes Romery. Looking up the inside line right now at Crawthorne, and will he be able to get this overtake planted? No, the 444 is there, turning in on the optimal line, and then through the Giuseppe sweep, it looks like Daniel Hirsch just fell in line right there. Coming through Barbecue, it's absolutely blinding with all the spray in front of you. Can't even see where the corners are, let alone your brake markers. And Daniel Hirsch peeking out to the outside line there at the entrance to Sunset, trying to find a brake marker of his own. just trying to get around Wes Romery. Up the inside line at the clubhouse bend. Will he go for an overtake? No. The 444 closed the door very promptly, and it looks like Daniel Hirsch on the 48 of Hirsch Motorsports has to back out of that one pretty quickly. Don Fossman getting around the Party Pickles car. And it looks like Kevin Palaniuk loses out one position in that number 19 and 21st position. Take a look at Norris Yu and Tarugo right now, as they're pretty close on track. Ooh, Suazo and Jay Paisa as well going side by side as Luke Coop. And that one's done and dusted already. Looks like Eric Akasian going a bit slow through mineshaft, and he's not doing very well. He's lost touch with the cars in front. That's Norris Yu and Tarugo out in front. Now Russell Stanford has something to say about this, as he's chasing down Eric Akasian only a few tenths adrift. Oliver Sogren already into the pits. That's a weird one for me. Haven't seen Sogren go in for an early pit stop. Maybe he's just trying to find some clear air. The 26 of Ricky Bobby warps to the pits as well, and he's back out on track. Excuse me, just a graphical glitch. And there's side-by-side action. Daniel Hirsch goes for a move on the number 20 of Russell Stanford, and Stanford gets spun around like a donut. And Hirsch is able to let him regain the track position that he deserved. And Hirsch just getting a little impatient there, stuck behind a couple of cars. He went for a good move on Romery, but just ended up running into the back of Russell Stanford, unfortunately. Here goes Eric Akasian trying to get past Wes Romery himself, as the Wes Romery trio is now over. Oh, trying to return back to the racing line is Wes Romery. Cuts back across, and Eric Akasian was not expecting it. Has a big old correction of the steering wheel to try to get back to the racing line. Buggy Watt and Kevin Palaniuk having an incident, colliding, a little bit of door banging there. Palaniuk loses out one position. And let's check out Suazo as he's trying to get past Buggy Watt, but he's got Kevin Palaniuk lurking in the background right now. There goes Buggy Watt a little bit deep at the S's and allows one car through, the 213. Will Team Bluey be able to get through? I think so. That's pretty neat and tidy, done and dusted. Here goes Hirsch chasing down Russell Stanford one more time. He's been here before. He'll do it again. Flooded track conditions are only providing more action than I could have ever expected. Norris Yu gets passed by Cooper Atherton. The 720 getting past the 530 and going off at Cheetah, though. He's going to have a hard time regaining his track position. Up the inside, around the outside goes Tarugo, trying to battle with him, but Norris Yu is able to get that position back very swiftly, doing a great job of driving forward. Tarugo looking to make opportunities happen out of nowhere, but unable to produce it. Mike Bowen's only 1 second away from Neil Kerbel. We'll keep an eye on that gap. But right now we've got battles up down the track. We've got 38 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in this race. Plenty of time for more action to brew. Don't forget about the mandatory pit stop that needs to be served by everybody. Sogan right now with a 34.2. He's the only driver to take in a pit stop. Let's see what he can do in some clean air. Oh, big wiggle right there from the Spencer Braun Porsche right in front of Kyle Hirsch. Kyle was able to keep that one clean and stayed away from the Porsche for as long as possible. And Spencer Braun can't keep it clean. Kyle Hirsch going up the inside line. Let's see if they can go side by side through the S's. And that Lamborghini goes off the curbs, and he allows Shooter McGavin and Spencer Braun to walk away with it with their lives. At Lecoeur, doing a good job keeping this one clean. Not a really good passing opportunity going up the hill unless you're officially side by side, and that's what Kyle Hirsch was trying to set up, was staying side by side with Spencer Braun. Neil Kerbel under threat right now from Mike Bowen in the Monster Torque GTR. And it looks like the 720S of Mike Bowen is looking awfully intimidating to Neil Kerbel, but Neil Kerbel doesn't seem to be phased. He's driving with his best foot forward. That'll be the throttle pedal, of course, with a 153.642. And compared to Mike Bowen's 153.7, I don't think he has anything to really worry about as long as he keeps his pace up. Joshua Rodriguez into the pits right now. We're on board looking at Eric Kakasi and trying to shake down Wes Romery for some money. Coming in through the kink now, turn 1 technically, and Eric Kakasian way off to the inside line. I don't think that's a move to make, but he's able to get through on Wes Romery, going a little bit deep there. He ends up cooking it, spinning it round. He's stuck at turn 2 of Crowthorne. And that's what happens when you just kind of cook it there. It's a little deceiving, turn 2. Because it's a little bit more than a 90-degree turn. It's more like 120 almost. Take a look at Shooter McGavin shaking down Spencer Braun. A shake and bake car, the number 69, chasing down the number 7 of Braun GP. Struggling to find my water bottle. It looks like Tyler Morgan, the number 72, spun off at Barbecue and collected a few. I think the number 3 was involved in that one. No separate incidences. The 119 stuck out on track. The 72 warps to pits. Number 3 having a solo incident at Barbecue. Stoffago getting stuffed on by Eric Kakasian around the outside of the Crocodiles. Might not be the healthiest place to go for a move, but Eric Kakasian's finding a way to make that one work. Looks like Stoffago's front end has seen some better days and seen a few cars in the process. Maybe that thing has some Porsche on it or some GTR on it. Shooter McGavin, Spencer Braun. Shooter McGavin trying to go around the outside of the Giuseppe sweep. Not working out for him. Spencer Braun able to defend that position very well. Defending this one very well is Spencer Braun, as he's been under threat from none other than Shooter McGavin and Kyle Hirsch for the past couple of minutes. Shooter McGavin only 3/10 back right now, entering Le Cop. And up the inside line, can't get the throttle pedal applied fast enough, and the Porsche is able to take over. What's going on, Mike Noss? Welcome to the party, or the soiree. And we are dealing with a very flooded Kyalami circuit. If you didn't get enough Kyalami action earlier today, you're going to get it now, that's for sure. We've got 33 and a half minutes remaining in this one. Mandatory pit stops yet to be served by just about everybody other than Rodriguez and Sogrin. Ricky Bobby, the number 26, having a moment right behind. No, the number 26 is off. Let's see if we can find out what happened to the number 26. He's out there all on his lonesome, tries to break on the grass and just cooks it. Goes into the wall and he spins it around for good measure. Is he on dry tires? The man is loco. He is on dry tires. No wonder he is suffering right now. I bet he has no idea what's going on. I have a feeling like Ricky Bobby has no idea what is going on to his car. That's gotta be it. And there goes a move from Russell Stanford on Sean Ches. The Party Pickles gets past. by Russ Money. And Russ Money on that recovery drive trying to get back to Wes Romery. He is indeed shaking and baking. Ricky Bobby never uses wet tires. Well, that would make a lot of sense. Here comes Tarugo spun out at the clubhouse bend. Let's get a recap of what happened here. How did it all go down for the clubhouse bend? Just coming around Sunset, excuse me, and he's looking like he's doing all right. Oh, just cooks it on the curb, spins it around, and nice pirouette, but he does an extra 360 for good measure. And that'll be it for him. Man, not a great one. Slingshot engaged for certain. Uh-oh, Mike Bowen, the second place car, loses it behind our leader, Neil Kerbel. We got to see what happened to our second place car as he's coming through what looks like Mineshaft and into Cheetah now. Everything looks okay. And in through Cheetah. Cooks it coming out of the curb. And the second place car is basically going backwards into the pit lane, waiting for the rest of the field to go by. And it looks like Mike Bowen is straight into the pits to repair that damage. Now he's down, tumbling down the order right now. And this is really going to hurt his cause. But he might find himself in some clean air, and that'll be really beneficial to him. Neil Kerbel with the fastest lap of the race with a 153.350. And his last lap being a 53.385. He's very consistent compared to the drivers around him, doing 55s, 54s. Three-way battle right now between Russell Stanford, Sean Chez, and Tarugo. Two McLarens and a Ferrari. Shooter McGavin, the 69, trying to get around Kyle Hirsch now. Kyle Hirsch is able to actually make that move happen. And now there's 3/10 separating the two of them. Go Kerbel for sure, says the Bucking Devil. And Neil Kerbel has been dominating this championship. He's actually leading the pro category right now. And he's hoping to keep it that way as long as he can keep Sogren at bay. And it looks like the kryptonite for Sogren is any moisture. He might actually be a witch. He's just melting away. Where is Sogren? Sogren's in 26th position right now. 2 pit stops already to his name. His last one was 32.4 stationary. Neil Kerbel just sets the fastest lap of the race, a 153.260. This man is out for blood tonight. Are the drivers not completing their mandatory, or is ACC TV lying? ACC TV might just be lying to us. Let's turn off this timing tower and we'll see. Come on, ACC TV, work with me here. Joshua Rodriguez is the only one, it looks like, that has actually completed a mandatory. Let's go down to Sogren. So Sogren, Stofko, and Bowen have all completed theirs. We're going to keep it on this one from now on, I guess, because it looks like the ACC TV is lying to us. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Burt Macklin. Look at that battle between Norris Yu and his teammate Mitch Nyardi real quick, and then Russell Stanford, and it looks like Sean Chez was able to get by Russell Stanford one more time. John Malott getting past Jay Paisa, the number 17. No, the 17th position goes to the number 85 of John Malott. Jay Paisa in the 135 is in 18th position now. Joshua Rodriguez gets past Ricky Bobby on those dry tires. Mitch Nyardi and Norris Yu invert their positions very quickly as they come around what looks like Mineshaft. Into the Crocodiles, nose to tail. 1 second separating them. Let's look at Shooter McGavin. And Kyle Hirsch, Shooter McGavin goes over the curb at Cheetah. And that'll send him into a death spiral almost. The number 69 able to hold on, but he's going to need a new change of pants. True that. Track is down to wet from flooded. Things are drying up, but we have more rain coming in over the next 30. It's still heavy rain. Over the next 10 minutes, it could go a little bit lighter. And then over the next 30, we're seeing heavy rain conditions. Eric Akasian getting close to Wes Romery on track. The battle for 10th place rages on. Eric Akasian's been very patient with Wes in that 444 AMG, trying to hold on the best that he can, and he's doing a good job of doing so, being extremely cautious of when he makes that overtake. Excuse me, he's actually caught back up to Wes, that 156 flat that he's been doing over and over again, pretty much beating out the 156.5 of Wes Romery, because Eric Akasian cooked it in towards turn 1, if we remember, and was able to get a recovery drive. Here goes some side-by-side action on the inside as Wes Romery trying to defend that position, but can't really hold on. Eric Akasian goes a long way around at the clubhouse bend and is able to recover one more position, and into the top 10 he goes. Jay Paisa into the pits, Joshua Rodriguez and Stufko gaining positions overall. Neil Kerbel completing the 9th lap right now and on towards 10. And he's still doing 154.1s. I doubt drivers will decide to take a tire change. Kyalami is a high tire wear circuit, but with the track being flooded as it is, I doubt any of the drivers really want to take a change. Cooper Atherton into the pit, the first of the front runners in the top 10. He's stationary now for about 5 seconds. Neil Kerbel is just drifting it through barbecue, and the guy looks like he's driving like he stole it. Cooper Atherton still in the pits right now. He's stationary for around 25 seconds. Eric Akasian, Wes Romery getting around Cooper Atherton. The battle for the top 10 now becomes the battle for the top 9. Looking for the next battle out on track. Norris Yu chasing down Shooter McGavin as Shooter McGavin went over the curb at Cheetah. Really upset his race, and now Norris Yu smells blood in the water trying to go for it. Jay Paisa also smells blood in the water, it looks like. And Jay Paisa chasing down Mike Bowen. He's only 26 seconds adrift right now. Jay Paisa getting out of the way of all the drivers after the S's and on their way to Le Coupe. And Norris Yu now closer to Shooter McGavin than he ever was. 0.8 of a gap right now. And Shooter McGavin only 1 second away from Kyle Hirsch. Mike Bowen sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 152.6. And Mike Bowen had to repair a heap of damage. And he was stationary for 56.4 seconds. 23.5 transit, so he is cooking it tonight. Neil Kerbel just needs to drive his race and keep on being consistent, and he'll walk away with another champagne. Upsetting a guy like Oliver Sogren has not been easy, but Neil Kerbel's managing to do so. Don Donovan getting around who I assume is Nelson Hernandez. And Nelson Hernandez running in second to last right now as he gets around Ricky Bobby, who's on dry tires. The absolute madman Tarugo spun out in the number 8. And he is losing out of position to the 720 in the 720S. Side-by-side battle, though, with Cooper Atherton out on track. Cooper Atherton has taken tires, and it looks like Tarugo has not taken his pit stop yet, and the Atherton's trying to get by, cannot do it at Cheetah. Took the risky line around the outside, almost went over the curbs, and there goes Tarugo off at Ingwe. And now it looks like Atherton might get his opportunity, the run that he needs to get past Hirsch into the pits, Suazo into the pits. Can the McLaren keep up with the Ferrari on the inside, trying to hold Tarugo to the outside? Will he overcook it? I don't think so. Oh, he does overcook it on the inside line. It's a bit damp there, and you can't find the traction that you necessarily need off the racing line. And Tarugo is able to pull off a smart move and just let Atherton ruin it for himself. Self-inflicted error. Five in six for the Mantini boys. Yes, they are doing pretty well right now. They got Shooter McGavin in a sandwich right now. Doing a good job driving this one forward, that's for certain. Nelson Hernandez is in the number 3 Mustang in 25th position, driving this wet Kyalami circuit. Spencer Braun now into the pits, losing out a couple of positions, but he'll regain those out on track. Looks like everybody has decided to take tires here for their pit stops. Looking to see if anybody has not. No. We'll have to see if the leaders decide to take tires or not. I imagine Neil Kerbel will. He's got a 19.3 second gap to Evans Vogt, so he's got enough time in the cooker to do it. Tires are mandatory. Okay, thank you. Tires are mandatory. I thought it was fixed refueling. I do too many series to remember what's what. I apologize. I do a series with one mandatory pit stop, but no minimum requirement, which is interesting. So no minimum fuel, no tire change is required, which is interesting. Do a 25-second fixed refueling league with optional tires on Mondays. And then we do another one with mandatory fuel, minimum of 1 liter. Neil Kerbel cooking it in a Cheetah. Wow, he is driving it like he stole it. Neil Kerbel slipping and sliding like he found banana peels out on track. So what is the option here? If tires are mandatory, what is the option? Is the optional fuel then? Info rules. Scoring? Races? No. Shooter McGavin into the pits in the number 69 right now. Let's see. Jay Paisa for Samantha Tan Racing in the 135, running in the 20th position right now, driving this Audi forward, has served his mandatory pit stop. Evans Vogt, Shooter McGavin, Kyle Hirsch all taking theirs, splitting this one down the middle pretty much. Neil Kerbel's deciding to stay out for as long as possible. Down a couple tenths on his personal best, almost a second down. No, Neil Kerbel. Accident between the 26 and the 395, but he's still driving forward. Okay, that's why he was going so slow, trying to negotiate the track with the number 26 of Ricky Bobby, who's still on dry tires, the absolute madman. Tarugo trying to get around Don Donovan now. As they go through the clubhouse bend on the inside line, Don Donovan can't do anything to defend that in that 333 AMR. And it looks like Tarugo is able to gain that position pretty neatly. 52 seconds stationary for Tarugo, serving some incident damages that he wanted to get repaired. And it's now all quiet on the Western Front, folks. Gaps have become very, very large. And a lot of drivers separated by over a second out on track. Sean Chez chasing down Buggy Watt, though, is going to be the next one that we're going to look at. 1 second gap separating two of them. And it looks like both of them, well, excuse me, Sean Chez has taken a pit stop, but Buggy Watt has not. And a 2-minute lap out of Sean Chez chasing down Buggy Watt right now. And there's Nelson Hernandez that they're trying to get by. And the blue flags should be flying as Buggy Walk goes off track at Sunset, trying to tuck in line, and then gets collected by the 26 of Ricky Bobby. Holy Toledo. Let's take another look at this one from a helicam. Oh, Buggy Watt cooks it going into Sunset and then rejoins the track, and the 26 is just moving over slightly, and there's a door bang that ends in tears, that's for sure. How many laps is the race? Unknown, but we've got 17 minutes left on the clock for a 45-minute race, and we've done 14 laps. My math is mathing. It's almost 2 minutes a lap. Let's say we've got another 8, so 22 laps, maybe, the Bucking Devil? 22 laps, 23 laps, maybe? We'll have to see. So we've got another 10 laps or so left to go. 8 laps, excuse me. And Cooper Atherton chasing down Shooter McGavin. This is the number 69. Nice. And the 720 in the 720S. And the track is wet, but it looks like it is drying up for sure. Oh, maybe not. As Cooper Atherton drifts it through Sunset a little bit on the inside line, finds a puddle, and just skips his McLaren over like a skipping stone across a very smooth lake. Then he gets around Norris Yu as Norris Yu is into the pits serving his mandatory requirements. Everybody pretty much taking their mandatory except for the front runners. Neil Kerbel, Nyardi, Wes Romery, Russell Stamford, the only drivers not taking their pit stop, as well as Buggy Watt further down the order. Stofko trying to stuff it up on Eric Akasian at Le Coupe. That 55 looking like it's been in a couple of battles right now, and he goes off at the exit of the coupe and touches some grass there, and both drivers have to get on the brakes a little bit for mineshaft. And there goes the stuff from Stofko, and he is going through on Eric Akasian, going wide at the Crocodiles, but they're going to hold on side by side still as Eric Akasian keeping his foot in it through Cheetah, tucks back in single file line, waiting for the 34 to go a little bit deep and wide, but he does not. Stofko gains the position on Eric Akasian. Russell Stanford, Wes Romery into the pits. Another fast lap out of Mike Bowen in 13th position. He's 4.2 seconds away from this battle right now in front of us of Eric Akasian and Stofko. Side by side action continues between Eric Akasian through the Giuseppe sweep and into barbecue. It's nose to tail though. Stofko having a bit of a drift in that number 34 in front of Eric Akasian. It's all working out neat and tidy for these two drivers, putting on a show for us here at the Degenerate Racing League. Cooper Atherton in that 720 driving forward. The 720 of Cooper Atherton is pushing a 4-liter V8 twin turbo, pushing around 720 horsepower, is very nimble and good response. A lot of quick changes in directions, has its aerodynamic properties helping it as well in these high-speed corners like the Crocodiles, Mine Shaft, and Cheetah. Nyardi finally into the pits, serving his mandatory. That leaves Neil Kerbel and Buggy Watt being the only two drivers that have not taken their mandatory. This is one of the closest gaps on track right now between Cooper Atherton and Mitch Nyardi coming out on track now. He will get caught right behind Wes Romery. No, that's not Wes Romery. That's Daniel Hirsch in the number 48. So now we're going to see a three-way battle get to Bruin. Mitch Nyardi chasing down Daniel Hirsch and Cooper Atherton in the battle for the top 10. Neil Kerbel seeing blue flags in front of him for the drivers out there. Looks like he's getting close to the 119. Is that Mike Bowen? That is Mike Bowen. Our former second place car is about to get lapped by the leader in the 395. What could have been, what could have was, all comes to a close here for Mike Bowen as he's getting the blue flags waved and should get out of the way of Neil Kerbel in a few moments. Neil Kerbel takes back the fastest lap of the race with a 151.6. Trying to find a way to get through Mike Bowen without going through him. Neil Kerbel putting down a significant amount of pace. Let's look at Nyardi chasing down Daniel Hirsch. It looks like Cooper Atherton went off the track at the Crocodiles and into Cheetah. It's single file line for these three drivers, putting on a three-way menage a trois. Oh, Daniel Hirsch looking like he wants to make a move on Cooper Atherton quick, fast, and in a hurry at Ingwe. And let's see who goes to the inside line, and if anybody decides to cook it at turn 2. They get through the kink just fine. There goes Daniel Hirsch to the inside line, way off to the inside line. Will he get the traction that he needs to hold on to an aggressive position? I think he will, but inside line turns into the outside line through the Giuseppe sweep, and they're back to single file formation. Daniel Hirsch doing a great job on his recovery after he was involved with an incident with, I believe that was Russell Stanford earlier on, but now driving his own race and being a champion of the wet conditions. Daniel Hirsch get a little squirrely there coming up through the S's? I think he did, losing out a little bit of pace. Spencer Braun having a big yellow flag moment. No, he's able to recover at the Crocodiles, though. He's in second. Wow. Spencer Braun in second place overall, 32.8 seconds stationary. So good stop out of Spencer Braun to defend this one. As always, I'll take the first, second, and third place drivers for their interviews should they want to be. As long as you're first, second, third in your class, feel free to reach out to me. Go ahead and join the green room following the race. We've got 9.5 minutes left on the clock. Eric Costian and Mike Bowen going after it now, battling for track position overall. Mike Bowen was involved in an incident that sent him towards the pit lane very early on in this one. And that's Neil Kerbel lurking around in the background. How did Eric get through on Neil Kerbel? That's a bit wild. And there's Buggy Watt getting involved at turn 1, the kink. Will Eric Akasian be able to get through? I think so. Neil Kerbel also able to get through. And now these cars are battling for track position. And Eric Akasian getting out of the way to let Neil Kerbel through very well at the Giuseppe sweep and into barbecue. It's now Neil Kerbel's turn to do the work on Mike Bowen. Daniel Hirsch caught back up to Cooper Atherton at sunset here at Kyalami, and now he's about 4/10 away from Cooper Atherton. Mitch Nyardi losing touch with the battle out in front, 1.3 seconds adrift. Looks like this battle's brewing, though, between Tarugo and Jay Paisa, the battle for 18th and 19th. And Tarugo is in the last position for his class, and Jay Paisa battling for second position in his class. Daniel Hirsch and Cooper Atherton. Where is Kyle Hirsch? Kyle Hirsch has found himself a podium spot right now. The number 95 Lamborghini in third place. 2 seconds away is Norris Yu in fourth place. Evans Ward 1.5 seconds away from that. Joshua Rodriguez losing out there, having a big yellow flag moment, losing 2 positions to Mike Bowen and Eric Gakosian. Stofko chasing down Nyardi in the background of this battle. Here we go towards turn 1, the kink. Everything looks all right, but Stofko looks to the inside line. Nyardi covers it off very quickly, and Stofko almost going into the back of Mitch Nyardi, but Nyardi on the defensive very well, saw that one coming from a mile away. On the rear wing of Cooper Atherton, watching the 2 battles, well, 1 battle brew. The other one is hard to see right now. Oh, here we go, side-by-side action through Sunset. The McLaren versus the Ferrari, and a big wiggle out of Stofko as he's trying to find the long way around at Sunset. Couldn't really keep the grip underneath him, and it looks like Mitch Nyardi holds on to this position for 1 more lap. Excellent overtaking opportunity, trying to make it work the long way around the outside. Oh, there goes Stofko at Le Coupe. Not the right place to make this overtake work unless he cooks it going into it. Yes, he does. And Stofko now gets the position from Mitch Nyardi very quickly. Does not wait for a second opportunity. Evans Vorg looking like he wants to make a move at Cheetah, though. That cocaine cowboy looking very aggressive at Norris U. Looking so aggressive in the rear wing. Wanting to make this move happen sooner rather than later. Let's see if he goes for one here at turn 1. I think he's way too far back to think about making a move happen. Downshifts through turn 1 and in through Cawthorn. Turn 2, and the Giuseppe sweep is turn 3. Neil Kerbel with another fastest lap of the race, a 150.787. Cooking it out here. He has shown that he is the wet weather master right now. He has proven so in the Trackalicious events, and now he is doing it again. He likes these greasy, he likes the wet, he likes the flooded conditions. He is becoming a wet weather expert. Oh, Daniel Hirsch and Cooper Atherton around the outside of Sunset, trying to go for a move. Now it's going to turn to the inside of Clubhouse Bend. Will Daniel Hirsch be able to hold on? Think he's being a little aggressive, backs out of it. Does a good job of maintaining his composure as he's been stuck behind Cooper Atherton for quite some time. Enough time for Stofko to catch back up, as well as Mike Bowen and Mitch Nyardi. 4.5 minutes left in this race, folks. We've got action front, left, and center. Oh my goodness, here goes Mike Bowen trying to get around Nyardi up the inside of Le Coupe's exit. Now through Mineshaft. Is he going to still stay there? I don't think so. He falls in single file line. Boy, that was a scary moment. Neil Kerbel's lurking in the background, still has not been able to get around Mike Bowen. He is just loitering there right now. 87-second gap to Spencer Braun, though. He could care less because Spencer Braun is so far back he could take another pit stop at this point of the race. Neil Kerbel finally serving this mandatory pit stop to get away from this battle. Evans Vorg chasing down Norris U. 3/10 gap, now separated by 5/10 up the inside line at the Giuseppe sweep. Can he hold on and into barbecue? He's going to be offline. He's not going to find a ton of grip there. The cocaine cowboy is going for it. He's holding on, and then it looks like Norris U goes a little bit wide. They're still going to hold on side by side, coming down the second straight and in towards Sunset Bend. And the cocaine cowboy holds on. The number 52 wins it out, but will he hold on for much longer? Norris U snaps right back. On the racing line, though, goes the cocaine McLaren. And then it's going to be all single file line from here on out. Stofko got past Daniel Hirsch there as he was trying to get around Shooter McGavin, I can only imagine. Let's see if we can catch a 30 for 30 on this one. There goes Stofko up the inside line. This is at Sunset. Daniel Hirsch returned to the racing line, just opened the door wide open for Stofko. Stofko said, you don't need to invite me twice. Great racing indeed for sure. Norris Hughes, Shooter McGavin involved in a little bit of an incident. Let's see if we can get a recap of what happened here between the 530 and the 69. 69 is going to make a move at the inside of Le Coupe, I think. No, just round the outside it looks like, and Norris Yu holding on, but going a little bit too deep, and 69 is holding on to the inside and just pushing him around, nudging him around, and Shooter McGavin is going to give that position back, I can only imagine. Norris Yu not getting that position back. There's Nelson Hernandez, the wounded winged warrior that he is, champion of his class, but no longer. 1 minute 42 seconds left in this one, folks. We're going to get this lap plus one more. Or it might actually be over. I can't tell. Neil Kerbel is about a minute away. Let's see. It's gonna be this lap plus one more for certain. Stofko putting on a masterclass of overtaking, says Burt Macklin. That's for sure. Doing a great job driving this one forward. The Odyssey Esports team, the 133. And he's in the number 34 actually, though. Driving an all-black satin Cadillac. Let's check out Mike Bowen again. Now he's trying to get around Cooper Atherton, finding his way into the top 10. See if we can go on board with Mike Bowen here for a moment. See what he is doing at the entrance to Le Cup. Oh, so close. You heard it here again. The leaders on the final lap. Mike Bowen going a little deep on the exit of Le Coupe. And that gets around Nelson Hernandez before the entrance to Mineshaft, so he'll stay throttle pedal in. The number 119 chasing down the 720 of Cooper Atherton, both in equal machinery. 4-liter V8 cars, if I remember correctly. Yep, 4-liter V8 twin-turbo McLarens pushing each other around. Fastest lap going out to Jacob Stofko with a 150.655, snatches that extra point away from Neil Kerbel. Neil Kerbel unfortunately won't be getting the Grand Slam here tonight. It looks like Cooper Atherton goes a little bit deep and wide, and side by side now between Mike Bowen and Cooper Atherton. Atherton's able to lose the position to Mike Bowen. The 119 was waiting for any sort of opening and mistake to be made, and he's been able to find it. 151.8 his last lap around compared to Cooper Atherton's 153.2, and he had one lap to get it done, and he sure got it done. Neil Kerbel's coming around the Mineshaft and Cheetah now. And in towards the final corner for the 395, and there's Shooter McGavin shaking and baking in that number 69. Neil Kerbel crosses the line, takes the big old victory and the giant glass of champagne in the 395. Amazing driving out of Neil Kerbel, driving that GTR to the victory. Spencer Braun just a wee way back, 21 seconds adrift in second place in that number 7 Porsche, the first of the Porsches. Then we've got a Lamborghini of Kyle Hirsch taking home third place in the number 95. Evan Zvorg in the number 52 will take home fourth place. Shooter McGavin in the number 69 taking home fifth. Norris Yu in 6th. Jacob Sofko in 7th. 8th for Daniel Hirsch. Mike Bowen in 9th. Cooper Atherton in 10th. Nyardi is going to be in 11th. Joshua Rodriguez in 12th. Eric Akasian in 13th. Russ Romery going to be bringing it home in 14th place. First in his class. Neil absolutely dominated tonight, that's for sure. Wes Romery, Sean Ches, Russell Stanford, Sunir Tarugo, Jay Pice, Don Fossman, Don Donovan, Buggy Watt, John Malott, and Nelson Hernandez. If any of the drivers want to come in for an interview, please go ahead and find yourself to the green room as soon as possible, and I'll start dragging you guys in. One, two, and 3 in your guys' classes. I see Kyle Hirsch in there. I see Wes Romery in there. Let's get to the... Wrong one. Wrong buttons. Wrong buttons. That's on me, folks. Let's get the replays up and start watching some of these highlights back. And let's start watching these highlights back while we talk to some of these race winners. I think Spencer Braun was 2nd place in his class. Let's talk to Wes Romery first. Wes, my man.
What's up?
Congratulations on another victory for your class. That must feel pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, that was a nice race. This is made up for Spa.
Now, do you enjoy these tricky conditions? I predicted that you would.
Yeah, I like it. I was hoping the race was flooded. I texted Don before. I said I hope the race is flooded. Because all you have to do is keep it on the track.
Yeah, and you sure managed to do so very well in your class. You did a good job driving this one forward and to a demanding or commanding victory, I would say.
Yeah, well, you know, the AMG's a boat. Does not miss out on the boat allegations.
No, it does not. And I think with this, you probably leapfrog Brad Smith and Nelson Hernandez in the championship. Nelson Hernandez not having a great race tonight, and Brad Smith not being here. I don't believe, right?
Yeah, I heard. Nelson was struggling with his car.
Yeah, Nelson not having a good time with that Mustang. And just seemingly out of position for Nelson Hernandez. He's had a lot of wins, a lot of 1, 2, 3s to his name. Even his drop rounds, a 3rd for crying out loud. I was so surprised to see him at the back of the pack. Were you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I was looking for him, and then I think I saw him as in the pits as a lapped car, and I was like, oh man, I don't think the Mustang's doing too well in these conditions.
No, yeah.
I know that a lot of people throughout the week had different practice conditions because I hadn't seen Greasy until that free practice before the race. I'd mostly driven in like wet or flooded.
Oh, so you were at least familiar with what you were going to expect.
Yeah.
Got it. That sounds good and explains why you're able to dominate so well. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, Wes? I've got a lineup of people looking to have conversations with me.
Oh, no, I'll let you get to it, man.
Thanks, Wes. I appreciate the love, man, and thank you very much for putting on a great show tonight.
Sir, you too. Have a good one.
You too, brother.
Okay.
Let's grab, I believe it'll be Spencer. No, let's grab Kyle Hirsch next. Kyle Hirsch, how are you doing, sir? Third place overall in a Lamborghini, for crying out loud. What were you cooking?
Oh, I had some special herbs and spices going on tonight, and I kind of overcooked it a few times, but it got a little soggy.
Not soggy like Sauger, of course.
Not soggy like Sauger.
Okay,
You're
okay.
a different kind of Sauger.
Well, man, how did you keep it on track in that Lamborghini? You had a couple of battles as well that you were taking out earlier on in the race. Where is it that you started, and where did you end up finishing? Obviously third, but positions gained for you. It looks like you gained 2, started in 5th.
Yeah,
A couple battles here or there. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I started in 5th. The first couple laps, all I wanted to do was live. So I was trying to test out the waters, literally. And I got passed by a couple guys, so I sunk down to 7th. And then after that, I was just in damage mode, where I was trying to keep it on track, and I think I gained them all through the pit stop. Because after the pit stop, I came out and realized that I was in 3rd, and I didn't know how I got there either.
Yeah, I noticed that as well during the pit stop cycle, and was pleasantly surprised to find you, or at least one of the Hirsches, doing well tonight.
Yeah, I was excited. Daniel's the wet weather specialist out of the two of us, so it's about time I get one over on him.
Well, good job for you. It was about time that you got one over on him, and it looks like you did, that's for certain. Good job driving out there. Is there anything else in your race that you want to talk about? Man, I've got a lineup of people trying to get in here. This is amazing.
Yeah, it was a great race, man. Everyone had such great pace tonight, and it was fun to watch everybody. Like there were guys, like, I'm new to the league, so there were just guys everywhere that I didn't know, and I was like, and everyone was very clean and drove a great race.
I was honestly super surprised about that as well, of how tricky the conditions were, but everybody was so clean.
Yeah.
I mean, just a few, and what was the most surprising thing, that now that you pointed out, minimal self-inflicted errors. Like, I expected to see people slipping and sliding all over the track and spinning out of barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
None of that. Going for late moves at Clubhouse Bend right after sunset.
Yep.
Didn't see that one time. It was just good 50-50 moves all around, like it was a dry race. Better than a dry race, even.
Yeah, it was great. Like, the guys out there, they were super clean, and they were quick, too. Like, they were fast.
Yeah, they were super fast.
And, like, yeah, it was, I was very impressed. Like,
yeah.
They did very, very well.
And Stofko taking the fastest lap of the race, too, at the end. Super
really?
surprising. Yeah.
What did he get?
It was like a 150. Let me double check real quick. So Stofko had a 150.655.
Oh,
yeah.
That's flying.
Yeah, beat out Neil Kerbel by a 10th. Mike Bowen was blazing on his recovery drive after he ran into a pit wall. It was a pretty exciting race, I'll say that much. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it back. That's awesome.
Well, thank you very much for watching it back.
That was really cool. Definitely.
All right, brother. Let me grab some of the other guys, and let me talk to your brother next, too. Have a great one,
sure.
Kyle Hirsch.
All right, you also. Thank you for doing the stream, man. We all appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. Love you, man. Bye.
All right, man. Bye.
And let's grab Don Donovan. I think Don Donovan. Oh, let's talk to Kyle Hirsch. Let's talk to Daniel Hirsch next. Daniel Hirsch, what the heck are you doing in my green room?
Oh, I was just hanging out with my brother, and then he pulled him away from me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That was rough.
It was a rough race, man. I mean, but I will say one of the things that we talked about before the stream was you being impatient behind other cars. I think I saw the exact opposite out of you tonight. I think I saw you being extremely patient with other cars. You were stuck in a lot of good packs for 3-4 laps. You know, I think you went for one move at turn 1 that didn't work out for you. With I think Russell Stanford.
Atherton? Or Stanford. Okay.
Stanford, but then you're able to check up, wait for him to get by. I thought it was great. I enjoyed watching your race, Daniel, and a top 10, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I mean, I wanted to be out there with them because I felt like I had the pace to do it. But I had a 52.0, so I was talking to Braun and Kyle about where they were at, and they were putting up 52s up there, and I was like, man, if only I didn't decide to punt in McLaren.
But still, you gained 8 positions overall. I mean, you started in
I
16th
did.
place. You ended up in 8th in the top 10. Come on, man. You got to give yourself a pat
it
on the
was
back
awesome.
for that.
It was awesome.
One-
Yeah, it was a fun night, man.
Yeah, one wrong or one mistake doesn't make or wash away all the good things that happened tonight. Great overtaking out on track. You were very patient with the cars that you're battling with. I'd give yourself a round of applause, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Right on, Daniel. Anything else in your race we may have missed? I've got a lineup of people still trying to talk to me. This is amazing.
I passed a guy right where the sausage curb and the like that fast right where the
At
sausage
Cheetah.
curb is.
Yep.
Yeah, at Cheetah, and we went side by side through there. Not sure if you caught that, but it might be a fun one to watch.
I'll try to find it back in the replays. That will be a fun one to watch for sure.
Yep. All right, man. Well,
Thanks,
I'll talk to
Daniel.
you later then, I guess.
Talk to you in a few minutes. Yes, sir. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Don Donovan, hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself? Where did you finish? In 20th overall, but that must have been 3rd in your class, probably?
Yeah, so I did okay.
Not bad. You're down positions overall, but you feel like you had a good race at least?
I feel like I could have done better. It didn't go to plan, but I hung in there. I think I made I caught up a bit, but yeah.
And how was your pace tonight? Let's look at that. 158.1 being your last lap. Obviously, that was the finale, but you were able to produce 154.5s. You were faster than everybody behind you and just a hair slower than some of the guys in front. So you were driving kind of your own race and managing to stay clean for the most of it, right, Don?
Yeah, for the tail end, I would say the beginning was I had more of a challenge. I think it was a little bit more flooded to start.
Yeah, it was.
But I started to pick up the pace, especially after the pit stop. It felt a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you feel a little bit better about your race. There's tons of action that we caught out on track, including yours. Is there anything in your race that you want to talk about? I got 2 more people to go through for these interviews and 7 laps of highlights left to go.
No, I'll let you get to the next people, but appreciate you bringing me in here.
No worries, Don, and hopefully you have a better race next time out at the next circuit that we go to. Where are we going next, Don?
I am not even sure. go look now.
We are headed to Suzuka next. Is that a track that you're comfortable with at all?
Honestly, I've never raced Suzuka. Actually, maybe 10 years ago on Gran Turismo, but yeah, it's. I'm gonna have to do a lot of practice.
We'll start to get to cracking towards Spoon, the 130R, and figuring out how to navigate those corners, huh?
All right, will do.
Good luck, Don. Talk to you next week.
Thank you. Talk to you next week.
Bye. Next up, we have Spencer Braun. Spencer Braun, hello. Congratulations on a wonderful P2 for you.
Thank you. I am so excited.
How did that work out for you? How did you manage to pull off an amazing second place win? You gained 4 positions overall. You had one big slip up that we saw.
Oh, you caught that?
Yeah, we did. But other than that, you managed to keep it clean, right?
Yeah, considering I started, I don't know, second or third race with a quali ban because of all of the shenanigans, I'm like pretty much free and clear of all of my penalty points at this point. So I'm doing a good job of keeping my nose clean and just trying to be as consistent as possible. It was a good race. I honestly, I was surprised at one point. I was like, wait, hold on, how did I get into second? I had no idea that Mike had been it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
Super
was just going back to the
unfortunate for
replay.
And
Yeah, it was crazy.
we ended up catching that on stream, so obviously you could watch this one back and figure out what happened to Mike Bowen. Super unfortunate for him, but he was one of the fastest guys out on track. And do you think otherwise you may not have gotten yourself a podium? I think you were still in it to win it.
I think so. Third at least. It was tricky though. Like Kyle and Gavin We were battling in the first couple of laps, and I think at the end, Kyle had much better pace. We were on voice chat, and I think given a few more laps, he may have caught me. But it was, I don't know, podium. But I'm super, super pumped to be in second place. It's ridiculous. I have no idea how that happened.
No, that is amazing news. Glad to hear it. And it looks like best lap for Kyle Hirsch was around 151.4, just 4/10 faster than your personal best. Obviously, the last lap being a little slower because a little bit of bobbing and weaving there at the end when you crossed the line. But overall, you drove a very clean race, and I am very pleased to say that congratulations on your P2. Pat yourself on the back, and especially during these tricky conditions, you did a great job driving forward.
Hey, thanks, man, and thanks for everything you do, and congrats to Kerbel's win, and Kyle, I think, finished third as well, right?
Yeah, Kyle finished third. We just talked to him.
First podium for him, I believe.
Yes, sir. Oh, I didn't even mention that. You're absolutely right. First podium for him. Oh, man.
Gotcha.
You should get in the booth with me next time, Spencer Braun. We'll do a live interview session while you're driving around in the wet, huh?
Oh, yeah, that'll help.
Have a great night, Mr. Braun, and I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let's talk to our grand champion. Our grand champion is Neil Kerbel, the people's choice, the 395 in the GTR, crossing the line to take the checkered flag first. How do you feel, Neil?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. This is my first place in DRL history.
Is it your first place in DRL history? It is.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, a lot of second place victories, but no bride. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Then.
Yeah, exactly, as the saying goes.
You've been close a few times, but man, you needed these points as well over Oliver Sogren in the championship. He was only 6 points away from you. Oliver Sogren not having a great one. Did he even finish the race? I don't think so. So that'll be a drop round for him for sure. And
I think he showed up late in qualifying, and that put him in the back of the grid, which on Kyalami is pretty dangerous, even more so in the rain.
And he ended up taking a very early pit stop. I think he pit on lap 1 or lap 2, if I recall, and just was trying to drive his own race, and it ended up not working out for him. And but you made it end up working. Fastest lap of the race for almost the entire run of it until Jacob Stofko stuffed it on you with a 150.655.
I was gonna guess it was Bowen because me and him were fighting for fastest lap, like for a majority of the race. It was actually kind of interesting. He was following me for like the beginning part, and then I guess he spun out, and then he came out of the pits ahead of me, and it was actually kind of nice. Like he didn't pull over, and I kept pace with him, and we actually just like had a really nice battle with each other, like me chasing him for 30 plus minutes. I
was wondering about that because it seemed like you were almost stuck behind him, but Mike Bowen was setting purple laps while being a blue flag, and you were just following him around, and I kept saying what could have been, what could have was for Mike Bowen, because you guys were setting almost identical laps there. So I'm glad to hear that you guys ended up working that one out in the positive way. He was blazing quick, but you were the master of consistency. You were drifting that GTR around the circuit.
Yeah, there was a few close incidents at was it Cheetah, where I drifted the car sideways, like, and just barely grazed into the curb. And then there was my screw up in the pit stop. I really hope you didn't catch that.
I did not catch any mistakes in the pit stop. What happened, Neil?
Oh, I got too quick on the throttle in first gear, making that left-hand turn into the pits, and my car spun around on me, and I crashed into the wall.
Oh, no. That's why that gap between you and Spencer Braun came down so quickly. I was like, he's got over 40 seconds. I don't know what's happening. And all of a sudden, it's down to 20. I was like, what happened here?
Yeah, I lost like 15 to 20 seconds repairing damage and getting the car turned around.
Oh man, that's why I see a 39-second pit stop out of you and a big fat R next to your name.
Yeah.
But still managed to drive it home.
I was not caught.
No, wasn't caught on stream, unfortunately for me, but you drove this one to absolute perfection, Neil Kerbal. Are you going to say that you're a wet weather master now?
I mean, I always enjoy driving in flooded and wet weather conditions. So, I mean, just I was really hoping for a flooded track, and that's what I got. And I do really good in those conditions.
Nice, nice. Glad to hear it for sure, Neil. And glad that it's working out for you, and it's working out for you in this championship. Any other final words before we wrap things up, sir?
No, just thanks to everyone and yourself for coming out in these rainy conditions, and really look forward to watching the stream tomorrow to see what other chaos the other drivers got into.
It was tons of fun for the entire 45-minute race. Thank you very much for the entertainment, Neil. Have a great night, and I'll catch up with you in a few minutes.
All right, you too, Soccer.
And that is going to wrap things up for us here at the Degenerate Racing League, folks. Thank you so much for sticking around to the bitter end. Thank you very much for keeping me entertained. Thank you very much to all the drivers putting on a wonderful show for us. This has been an amazing race and an amazing event. As always, it has been my pleasure to be your host. Thank you so much for this opportunity here at the Degenerate Racing League, and join us next week when we head to Suzuka. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And as always, please stay safe. Bye-bye.